It can be art where you're just flowing with art, or it could be writing, painting, whatever your medium is. And that flow where there's there's no self-critic, you're just letting it all go. The same can be said, like one thing I do, because I live up here in the mountains, is just taking a daily walk in nature and to be able to tune in to the sounds. Like right now is the best time of the year because all the birds are back. And so you go out there and you just tune in. And like I've got a highway across the river here, and you can hear traffic on the highway and stuff. But the ability to just have that as background noise and tune in your awareness to the sounds of nature and the birds, so incredibly powerful. And when I do it, I get the same energetic flow of prana that I do when I'm in deep meditation, but my eyes are open and I'm walking around. And it's those kinds of practices, in our everyday, like what are the things that you like to do in your life, and how can you dial in your conscious awareness into those practices to really be present, really be aware. And that's where the gifts start kind of emerging. And you're not thinking about solving problems or anything, you're just being present, you're just with the birds, the sounds of the birds, that's it. And it is, it's a very powerful therapy.
I love that, and I need more of that in my life. Living in the city where I'm particularly sensitive to noises, and it's assaulting to my nervous system, and I have to be and I walk every day, get my 10,000 steps in.
Oh,
I'd much rather do that in a nature space, but it let's tie this a little bit into some of the neurology and soundscape, bird sounds. And we have become a very visually oriented culture throughout much of our history of humanity, including pre-Homo sapiens, but for sure Homo sapiens, which is 120,000 years ago. Civilization is less than 1/10 of our biologic makeup. And before we were artists, well, I can't say that because there were artists back then, but before we were consultants and doctors and accountants, we were hunter-gatherers. And when we would be in a forest scape, we weren't there's the saying in whatever movie that was, there's always a bigger fish. We were not the biggest or the strongest features of the majority of the time that our neurology had developed. And so our soundscape was critically important to our awareness, especially as we were moving through the culture. And our visual medium, although very useful, we also had to listen. And so the concept of the world as being out ahead of us, with a visual orientation versus all around us with an auditory is something that fascinates me as a visual artist and a painter. I think you can relate to this. And I think that and Dennis McKenna talks a little bit about this because he had a stuttering problem lifelong that was cured by a high dose psilocybin journey. And part of the problem with the stutter is there's this feedback that goes a wire between the pronunciation and the hearing of our own voice. That was cured in one time of a lifelong stuttering problem.
that was Paul Stamets.
Paul Stamets, correct. I stand very corrected. Yeah. Thank you. I stand corrected. You are okay. Yep. And so I think that also when we do a psilocybin experience, the set and the setting are very important. And there are all kinds of studies on how music can actually be therapeutically enhancing to the psychedelic experience. Meditative practices can help it become more deeply ingrained. And I think of this idea of me personally accessing a more primitive, holistic time of, and I know that's kind of very Rousseauian if you want to put it in philosopher terms, but not the ideal of being in the forest, but the ideal of being connected with nature and how it's very much a soundscape. And the birds, for me, I hear the sirens and I hear the garbage trucks backing up and I hear the lawnmowers and the weed whackers in the city. But whenever the birds sing, It is a note to myself to tune in, to relax, to be here. And I miss the access to nature that I don't have here while in the city. So any
Yeah.
thoughts on that, Guy?
Well, I mean, I every day I wake up and I express gratitude for being up here in the mountains because I lived in the city for 40 years. And this journey of better understanding myself, both egoic self and my higher self, through this work led me out to nature where it was just this incredible draw. Like I needed to leave the city, and I didn't know why.